Hey family, hey community, how are you? Jenenne Macklin here, transformational speaker, your wealth guide and catalyst. Oh boy, how are you today? It's Monday mindset, and the Monday mindset I have for you is to be fluid, and flexible. When this experience started for us, really when it started with Kobe, one of the first words I heard about what was happening on the planet was that it was transformational. And the other word that I heard with transformation was it was evolving, that we were evolving. As a country, we're evolving. And in spite of the narrative that the media was saying, oh, it's unprecedented and it's this and it's that, I felt like that was scaring everybody. But the reason why I said it was transformational, or that we're evolving into something else, something new, that we're really not that sure of what that's going to be, is because of the word that most people don't like. And it's the word, hello, my dear, bonjour. How are things there for you? Let's see, this word is 5-letter word. Can you tell me what it is? What is it that nobody likes? It's called change. So whenever there's a great deal of change going on, to me, that's transforming something. Whenever there's a great deal of change, that's evolving something. That's taking something from one way of being to another way of being. And the example I'd give you would be a butterfly that was a caterpillar. And the two don't even know the two are connected. So it's like we were the caterpillar, and now we're really in that chrysalis, in a sense. You know, we're in this one space. We're all in it together, whether we want to be or not. And we have to get our way out of it, basically. You can go ahead. We have to, you know, when they're in the chrysalis, they have to build, that's how the butterflies build their wings, because they have to basically, I don't want to say fight their way out, but they have to cultivate their wings to be strong enough to get out. And in a sense, that's what we have to do. We are in the midst of change. We are in the midst of transformation. And the transformation, we think, many people may think is outside of us, but the transformation is really inside of us. So see if you can find some place in your way of view of the world and looking at the world to land with some sense of, we're in the midst of change. Now, that said, most people don't like change. For some reason, we've become more comfortable with getting someplace and staying there and not wanting to move. We just want to stay there because when we get there, we're like, okay, I know what to do. I know how to do it. I can handle everything. I feel confident. I feel confident in living my life. Then change comes. And then we're like, oh my goodness, everything's changing. And then we start complaining because things are changing. Because what? It gets us out of our comfort zone. Morning. But we like being in our comfort zone because we think we know when we're in our comfort zone, we can control it. We want to be able to control it. We can't control the weather. We can't control the temperature. We can't control the cycles. We can't control ourselves. We can't control many things, but that's what we want. So in the midst of this shift and transformation, what can you control though? What are the pieces and the elements that you and I, that we can control? And I often tease because what we can control, we don't control. We want to control everything else except for ourselves. Control our thinking. Control our thoughts. That's where our focus needs to be. So my question to you is, what can you count on? What do you count on in the midst of change? And how well are you taking care of yourself in the midst of change? I curled my hair last night. What'd you do? And I curled it because I just wanted a different hairstyle. I didn't realize it had been 4 months since I curled it or anything. I just let it be because I couldn't get to the stylist, couldn't get it, I could get it shampooed, but I couldn't get it taken care of and manicured like I wanted. So I did it myself. But I did it as an act of self-care. So I wanted to ask you today, what are your acts of self-care? What are you counting on? What can you stand on when things are changing and shifting in the world, i.e. in your life? Because there's nothing that can change in the world that's not going to impact our lives. What do you have that's bigger than you that you can anchor yourself in? so that you can be like the trees. You know, when it's windy, the trees just go whichever way the wind goes. They go like this. Whichever way, they just roll with it. They don't break, but they do bend. So where in your life and your thinking can you begin to gain a greater sense of control over you? And one of the first things I want you to look at is, where is your self-care in all this? How well are you taking care of yourself? How well are you taking care of you? Check in with me and let me know. Are you in fear? Are you in anxiety? Are you worried? Are you hopeful? Are you excited? Are you ready for the long haul? Because you know this isn't going to end this anytime soon, right? We're in this to the end of the year. Where are you and how are you feeling? To my essential workers, I don't even know if you have time to see these. Know that we are praying for you. Know that we are doing anything and everything that we can, from sending food to dropping off lunches to staying out of your way, to not bothering you, to taking care of those of you who are at home, making sure that you get the rest that you need so you go back out there ready and strong. It's so cute. I'm looking at her dad. He's got the baby on his back and 2 dogs. Something a mom would normally do. That's nice. So you have to look at, what is it for you when it comes to your sense of self-care. To the essential workers, morning. We really appreciate you. And America now knows that America stands on you. I mean, we won't do all the things they tell us to do, but we'll do most of them. But you're the ones every single day that are showing up to work. You are essential. You're necessary. We appreciate you. We thank you. We honor you. We know this could not be happening the way that it's happening without you, without your commitment, without your efforts, without your energy. So we thank you, essential workers. So there's been a lot going on. I went out last week for a protest. It was really nice. The protests are so cool. At least the ones here. They are so cool. Tons of people. We were all walking around. People, honored the 6 feet distancing if you asked, but if not, people weren't. But the energy of it, the positivity, to see placards that say, Latinos for Black Lives Matters, Asia for Black Lives Matters. I mean, we've never seen that before. We just, when I look at it, in some regards, just bring me to tears, because I'm like, wow, this man, George Floyd, and the police officer, because they in this together, just created something that ignited something unlike anything we've ever had before. So the energy on the planet is just, it's amazing, the energy on the planet. George Floyd. There's a lot that's going on. You always hear me say, just be mindful of what you hear on the news. Be mindful of the stories. I guess Candace Owens, my son had showed me her last week, and she was saying something about George Floyd and he wasn't a good man. And I thought, that's not the point. That wasn't the point for me. When I looked in his eyes on that ground, see, I'm a spiritual person, so I'm always looking at something from a spiritual perspective. And I looked in the police officer's eyes. No one was really fighting. No one was really yelling and screaming. No one was really mad or anything. The police officer was holding his position, and Floyd was where he was. And it was almost like this was their appointed time. I believe everybody comes to the planet for a reason. I believe that all of us have our own divine missions. It may be to be a mom, it may be to be a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, but we come here with specific gifts for that particular skill that we are supposed to bring to the planet. And so I also believe that, yes, like Martin, like Malcolm, they all came for a particular reason. So for me, just for me, doesn't have to be for anybody else, I just saw it spiritually as something bigger. That this act, not even the people don't matter really, but this act would trigger something on this planet. And it did. So she was saying he was a bad person. He wasn't a good person. I didn't care about the person he was because I didn't know that part. He'd been to jail 5 times. So then my thought was, well, did he murder anyone? Did he molest children? Did he kidnap women or girls? Was he trafficking women and girls? Not that, all crimes aren't important, but if you're going to look at someone whose life is having such a global impact, then I just had to have my own criteria. So if he hasn't done any of those, he's been in jail for robbery. He's been in jail for arson. Maybe he's, or I don't know, but it wasn't anything that was about someone else's life. Then don't tell me he's not a good man. You know, there's a lot that's come out about Martin over the years. There was a lot we know what happened with Malcolm before he went to the Nation of Islam. So none of them were personally good men, but they did good things. They did good things on the planet. Morning. So it's the same way for me, for him. And that's bigger than all of us. That's like a divine assignment. And I believe divine assignments come in all kind of ways and all kind of fashions. So I was sorry that, but she's a conservative activist. So I was sorry that that was where she wanted to point her attention, is on the fact that in her mind, he wasn't a good man. Nobody said he was a good man, but even if he wasn't a good man, did he deserve what happened? That's the issue. And it was so amazing, so big, because then Trump got a hold of it. So now here she is with Trump aligning with her. I'm not sure if that's what she wanted or not, but we just have to be mindful that this is so far reaching and it's so deep. And it's in everywhere. It's what this country was built on. I have to say again, I was happy with the NFL, Drew Brees and all the other ones, being able to say they missed the mark. And I think Candace Owens missed the mark. And I can't be mad at them. I can't be mad at anyone. What are we spending so much time being angry about? All the judgment. How do we move forward? People make the best choices they can with the information that they have. When the news says, you know, they're dishonoring the flag, then most average white American says, okay, they're dishonoring the flag. Nobody does research because they're the people who actually trust the news. Nobody says, well, is that true or not? So then when they find out, wait a minute, we missed the mark. We thought it was about the flag. We thought it was about the vest. And they said, no, it wasn't about that at all. He took a knee for police brutality. And the media shifted the conversation and changed the narrative, and everybody believed it. So for them to come back now and say we were wrong, I appreciate that. So, you know, so many other people are like mad at him. We don't have time to be mad over small stuff like that. It's done. It's happened. Now that we're coming in together, more and more people are coming into the fold. So I'm like, just let that be. And now when I was at the protest, they were talking about defund the police, which I understand. There is I could barely say it. I don't know if I was going to say millions or billions of dollars, and it got caught in my throat, that's going through the police department. And we know that the average policeman isn't getting paid, you know, like $80,000, $90,000 a year. They're not getting paid a whole lot of money. So where is all that money going? So I know I may make some people nervous to defund the police, because some of you rely on the police and like the police. You haven't had any negative experiences with the police. Whereas for others of us, it's a hit and miss. It really is a hit and miss. So that's going to be a conversation that's going to be going on for a long, long time. The 9-year-old that raised $30,000, the 12-year-old, she's a beautiful Asian girl who just made thousands and thousands of masks because China was getting such flack about the virus being brought here by them. So she wanted to show the world that they were also, she as an Asian girl, were also doing efforts to help as well. So with those kind of things happening on this planet, those are the wonderful things that are coming out of this experience, that young people are stepping up. There's an 18-year-old young lady that's doing something this Friday at the Pasadena Rose Bowl. She put it on our Nextdoor app. And so I'm going there to support her. If you looked at the news, there was a 18-year-old, she's going to college next year, who did the Simi Valley March, which was an enormous march. And Simi Valley has always been primarily Caucasian. So for them to come out, for them to be present, I mean, the young people, the foot soldiers who are taking this on, who are standing, who are not in fear, I want them to know we are there with them to support them, and we've got their back. Now, if you're not marching because you're afraid of risk, then there are writing petitions that are going on. I thought I put below places where you can make donations to help people get out on bail. You could help with some of the Black Lives Matter activities. Although I think I was blown away. Michael J. gave $100 million. I thought, man, how much money you have? $100 million over 10 years. So divide 10 into 100 million. So that's 10 million. How much is that a year he's donating? So if you can turn off the regular 2, 4, and 7 and look at other things, you can see how there are places where this is unfolding perfectly. There are places where there's shifts and changes that need to be made. There are places where we're more aware of what's not working in our country, as opposed to sitting all cushy thinking everything's working so well. We still have children without food. We still have schools that are opening up to give children breakfast in the morning because their parents aren't able to. And that, to me, is going to be the determining factor for whether or not we're back and up and running, is for the state, county, and the federal governments. Those parents have children. So unless those children can get in school, those parents can't go to work. So how are you doing? And I'm asking that because I know for some of you, you may have been prepared to be off work for 2 months, 3 months. But March, April, May, June, maybe July, but I don't know if you were prepared to be off of work for 5 or 6 months. And so what are your frustrations? What are your concerns? What are you worried about, if anything? And if not, then what are you focusing on? What are you creating? What are you building for yourself and your life and for your future? The last thing I do want to encourage you is to please, 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 please stay on top of your self-care. I did my walk today. I think I did 3.5 miles. I did my 4 miles last week, and after that, I didn't feel good. So I realized I didn't do any more exercise Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of the week. And so today, I believe, is Tuesday. I'm starting again. So what is your self-care? Are you taking more baths? Are you going for walks? Have you found something interesting to read? Have you cleaned out the closet? Cleaned out the garage, maybe? Cleaned out the drawers that you know you have stuff in? Did you clean out the junk drawer? You clean out the cars? Did you get the bike that's on a flat tire, walk it up to the station and put some air in it and start riding it? Where is and what is your self-care? Meditation is a powerful practice to still your mind if you find that it's just running you ragged with a whole lot of fearful thoughts. I walk in nature most mornings because that's what grounds me in God. Period. We didn't create nature. I stop, I look at what's blooming, how it's blooming, how magnificently it's blooming, and it lets me know that everything's in perfect divine order, even though it looks completely different than I may have thought it would be this year. What are you grounding yourself in? What can you count on? I can count on the sky to be up there. I can count on the sun to shine, even if I can't see it and it's cloudy. I can count on the flowers to grow. I can count on having air and breathing, long as God says it's okay for me to keep breathing. What do you count on? What do you stand on? So there's meditation. I dance too. I said that to you before. I turn on music and I dance to the music, and I'll have a soundtrack, so it'll be fast, it'll be slow, it'll be all kinds of different music to keep me moving and work up a sweat. After I finish this walk, I go inside and I do floor exercises. Not as much as I'd like, but I do floor exercises. So what are you doing for your self-care? Because you've got to take care of you. And we're not out of the woods yet. We're going to be in this for a lot longer than we may believe. And that's it. Let me know how you're doing. Hashtag replay. What state are you in? Hi, Ernesta. How are you? Hey, David. How are you doing? Good to see you. What's going on back there, you guys? Good morning. How are you? What's going on back there? How you guys doing? You getting your sleep? You getting your rest? You eating healthy? You ready to get out? I got up the other day and I remember thinking, oh, I want to go somewhere. Shoot, I'm tired of being at home. And then I thought, where are you going to go? You can go anywhere you want to. I thought, okay, I'm going to drive down to Santa Barbara. Then I didn't feel like it. So if you ever get that sense of, I'm being contained, I got to get out, go on out there. And then you'll find yourself thinking, where am I going to go? What am I trying to do? So let me know how you are. Let me know how you're feeling. If you're struggling with anxiety or frustration, or are you hopeful? Are you going to the marches and just surrounding yourself with some wonderful white light and trusting that you're going to be fine and healthy? Make sure you're still doing your vitamin C serums. You're getting sleep. That's what your body needs. Keep it strong so then you don't have to worry about, do I have the virus? And do your self-care. Only you can take care of yourself. If you got the same old hairstyle you had, you want something to do like I do. Create yourself a new hairstyle. But this is what we get to do. And when it comes to change, change is a part of life. I have come to accept that that's what it is. And I almost look forward to it. I use nature to let me know that it's going to happen no matter what. So how well can you deal with things changing? Things on this planet right now are changing moment by moment. They're changing that fast, moment by moment by moment by moment. So how can you keep yourself anchored? If you have a business, how is your business? How are you handling what you either have lost, the decrease in income, or a lot of people I talk to, their business has increased. So a time if you want to look at some options for you in your business, I'm available for that as well. We do a um, we did a prosperity circle last month. We'll do another one this month. And we really were putting in our hopes, our dreams. People were talking to me about their plans, how they want to shift and change their business. And I was giving them some tips and options on how to do that. So we'll do that again the next couple of weeks if you want to join us. But in the meantime, and if you can and you're comfortable, go to the protests. They're calming. It brings some peace. It's amazing to feel the unity. It's amazing to be present and realize that people are actually standing for you. They're standing for you and you and you and you. So go be in that experience. Trust yourself. If it doesn't feel right, then don't go. But if it does, allow that to kind of wash over you and say, wow, this is the transformation that's happening on the planet. Now, no, it's probably going to be bumpy. I really think we're in this to the end of the year. I'm sorry. I know you probably want to think, well, next month and the next month, but it's moving so fast. We're in June already. Once we hit July, then I'm like, we're heading towards school in August. And for me, I guess I get antsy because I'm used to traveling. I'm used to hopping on the plane. My son, usually for the summer, we're going to Hawaii. So I'm used to being out in nature, and that's probably what I'm missing the most. So we'll figure out something, and he has a birthday in a couple of weeks, so I have to figure out what that can look like because he's going to be 16. How do you redo 16? It's like if you turn 50 or 65 or any of those major birthdays, how do you redo that? Just like the kids with graduation. So much of it is really about changing and how quickly we can adapt. How quickly can you adapt to something changing? You go to sleep one night and it's this way, you get up in the morning and it's something different. How quickly can you adapt? And when you meditate, when you spend time in nature, when you're writing in your journal, maybe if you're reading something that you really enjoy, all of those lift your energy and bring your energy up, which helps you when you have to adapt. So it's all connected. So your self-care is the most important thing that you can do to be able to adapt to what's going to come next. We know there's going to be more unemployment. It looks like Trump is slipping. But I suspect he's done enough. There's a little bit more he's probably going to try and do before the election. So it's about how well can you pivot? How well can you respond when something changes? How well can you regroup yourself and reestablish yourself to stay connected to something bigger than you? Because that's what this is going to be about. You hear one thing, it'd be like this. I'm already wondering, okay, I used to vote walking in because I like to walk in. I want my son to walk in. But I'm also now mindful of vote by mail because I don't want to be left out of that loop because we've got a person in charge who doesn't want it. So it always keeps us having to focus on, okay, what's happening here? Well, what happened with our voting? Well, what's happening with that? So that can just keep you crazy making if you're constantly doing that. So at some point you have to disconnect from the small part of life and connect to the larger part of life and allow that to fuel you and sustain you as we continue on this journey. Okay, take good care. If you're responding for whatever reason, I can't see it. I see Anessa and I see Dave. Dave, how was your weekend? How's your exercising? I think I put on like 3 pounds. I just got tired and could not keep doing all the work I was doing last week. I am working on an incredible event called The Money Taboo Girls Talk. I want to invite all my ladies, my sassies, my smart women who are ready to be even more money confident and wealth savvy to join us for that process. It'll be fun, have some great conversations. And then we're going to do a challenge. What else can you do during this time but create your wealth plan? Do you have one? Do you have a plan for yourself going forward? Well, why not begin to create that now while you have that time? Because when things pick up, they will probably pick up a lot faster than we are prepared for. In the meantime, take good care. Tell me what your self-care is. Essential workers, we love you. We appreciate you. Let us know how we can support you, and we will. But otherwise, let me know how you're going to keep yourself centered and grounded. What is your self-care? Because that is the one thing we are responsible for, is our own self-care. Take good care. Have a great day. Bye for now.